Welcome back to The Lost Tactician, where history and survival collide in the most extreme circumstances imaginable. Today, we're embarking on an expedition into the frozen abyss to explore the ghostly remains of humanity's most audacious engineering experiments. These are the forgotten fortresses of the Arctic, strongholds carved from ice and desperation during the planet's coldest wars. Join us as we unearth the ingenious, often desperate survival designs that pushed the boundaries of human resilience against nature's most unforgiving adversary. The Arctic transformed from desolate wilderness into strategic obsession during the Cold War. As superpowers faced nuclear stalemate, this frozen expanse offered something invaluable: concealment and proximity. The polar region became a shortcut for bombers and missiles arcing between continents, transforming it into a chessboard where every settlement, every radar installation represented a potential checkmate. Early explorers and military planners quickly discovered that conventional warfare doctrine meant nothing here. Temperatures plummeting to -70 degrees Fahrenheit, winds capable of stripping flesh from bone, and months of absolute darkness presented an enemy more formidable than any human adversary. This wasn't merely hostile territory, it was actively lethal, demanding revolutionary approaches to survival and combat readiness. The evolution of Arctic shelter design represents one of humanity's most remarkable engineering achievements under duress. Early attempts relied on prefabricated structures that buckled under snow loads and shattered in extreme cold. Engineers soon realized they needed to work with the environment rather than against it. Camp Century in Greenland epitomized this philosophy. Built in the late 1950s beneath the ice sheet itself, this installation consisted of 21 interconnected tunnels stretching over 3,000 feet. The ice overhead provided natural insulation while protecting against detection. Construction crews carved these passages using modified Swiss mining techniques, creating self-supporting arched ceilings that distributed pressure evenly. The walls were lined with corrugated steel to prevent ice creep, that inexorable slow-motion collapse that devoured structures over time. What appeared as pristine scientific research stations were actually elaborate deceptions masking Project Iceworm, a plan to deploy mobile nuclear missile launchers throughout Greenland's ice sheet. The true genius emerged in solving problems most engineers never contemplated. Powering an isolated Arctic base presented seemingly insurmountable challenges until Camp Century deployed the PM-2A, America's first portable nuclear reactor. This revolutionary device generated enough electricity and heat to sustain 200 personnel in comfort, producing warmth that would otherwise require impossible quantities of diesel fuel transported across treacherous ice roads. Insulation became an obsessive science. Engineers discovered that traditional materials failed catastrophically in extreme cold, becoming brittle and useless. Instead, they developed multi-layered systems incorporating trapped air pockets, reflective barriers, and continuous vapor barriers to prevent deadly condensation. The distant early warning line stations, stretching across 6,000 miles of Arctic coastline, elevated entire facilities on stilts to prevent heat transfer into permafrost, which would create unstable foundations. Waste management demanded equally creative solutions. Human waste froze instantly in disposal trenches, creating toxic ice that threatened water supplies. Engineers developed heated waste processing systems and chemical treatment facilities that could function in conditions where conventional plumbing became solid ice. Behind these engineering marvels existed brutal human realities. Personnel stationed at these installations endured psychological torment that no architectural innovation could alleviate. Months of perpetual darkness induced severe depression and disorientation. The monotonous white landscape beyond tunnel walls drove some to madness. Frostbite remained an ever-present threat, Exposed skin froze in under 2 minutes during blizzards. Medical facilities struggled to treat injuries when evacuation was impossible for weeks. Despite sophisticated heating systems, personnel wore multiple layers constantly, and machinery required continuous maintenance as lubricants solidified and metal became brittle as glass. Camp Century's abandonment in 1967 wasn't merely logistical failure, but acknowledgement of a harsh truth. The ice sheet moved unpredictably, crushing tunnels and rendering permanent installations impossible. The dream of mobile nuclear missile bases died as engineers realized the ice itself was an untamable beast. These forgotten fortresses now serve as cautionary tales and inspirations simultaneously. Modern Arctic researchers and military planners still reference designs from Camp Century and DEW line installations when establishing contemporary facilities. The principles of working with extreme environments, rather than against them, inform everything from Antarctic research stations to potential Mars habitats. Climate change now exposes these buried installations, revealing not just rusted infrastructure, but also trapped pollutants and nuclear waste, reminding us that our innovations carry consequences across generations. Yet the ingenuity displayed remains humbling. Human beings willingly entered the most hostile environment on Earth, not for exploration or science alone, but for strategic advantage, and through sheer determination created livable spaces in conditions that should have been impossible. These Arctic fortresses stand as testament to human resilience and innovation when confronted with nature's ultimate challenge. If you found this journey into forgotten history compelling, hit that like button and share this video with fellow history enthusiasts. Subscribe to The Lost Tactician for more explorations where survival, strategy, and history intersect in the most extreme circumstances. Until next time, stay tactical, stay informed, and remember that understanding our past prepares us for whatever challenges lie ahead.